My meal rule is that no meal exceeds $2.50. It is a rare occasion where any of my meals exceed $1.75. I don't eat out very much at all. I think that's a complete waste of money. So I'm going to show you an example of a meal that cost me less than $1. I bought this chorizo for 97 cents. I'll be using one of those in my meal. That's 25 cents for the meal so far. These black-eyed peas, 10 cents a can. And I'll be using half of this can for the meal. So that's 5 cents. I buy these greens, the spring mix. That cost me, I think it's $4.95. One of these containers lasts me 2 weeks. So the greens I'll use will cost me about 35 cents. Tomatoes, I got these for 97 cents a pound. Let's just say this one cost 20 cents. It won't be more than that. Then I'm going to put this dressing, I'm using it as dressing, that I got for 3 of these for 97 cents. So I'll use about 2 squirts, and that's about 5 cents. It's actually less than that. But here's how I do this. I'm going to cut this up and put it on this paper towel. I got this paper towel and some others when I was at a doctor's office recently. Washed my hands. I took these, let them dry, and I'm going to reuse them. That is how cheap I am. There's nothing fancy about this. I'm going to zap this in the microwave for 1 minute, per the instructions on the package, with another paper towel over it. I dumped the juice out of the can, and now I'm going to use half a can of beans. A little bit of salt, back in the microwave. Now I'm going to add the greens. Now tomato. A little bit of salt. Some of the dressing. Mix it up. That's just an example of the meal I have for dinner every night. The greens were 35 cents. The peas, 5 cents. The chorizo, 25. Tomato, 20. Dressing, 5 cents. That is an 80-cent meal. If I was a little more hungry, I would add half of an avocado. I bought these for 50 cents a piece. So if I added half, that would bring the meal up to $1.05. I think that's a pretty healthy meal. This is the way I eat to save money. I have absolutely no interest in going out to eat for dinner. Typically, the meals that I have when I'm out are not as good as the meals I make at home, and I know what goes in my meals at home. When I was young, when I was a kid, my father was MIA, and my mother kicked me out when I was 15 years old. By the time I was 16 years old, I had my own apartment. I had one full-time job and didn't have a lot of money and could barely make ends meet. So breakfast and lunch were crackers with a little bit of butter on them, and dinner was ramen with water. That's how I ate because I had to. Then I got a second job, a 3/4 time job, at a donut shop. The owner let me take home day-old donuts, expired milk, and old coffee that otherwise would be thrown down the drain. So then my breakfast became, and lunch, day-old donuts, coffee, and milk, and dinner was still top ramen. But I ate like that because I had to. I didn't have a choice. I didn't have enough money to provide for myself and make the rent, car insurance, telephone, and all that. So I had to spend my money, very little money on food. So what started out as a necessity, eating that way, turned into a desire. Because all the money I saved, I banked. And as time went on, I saw that my financial nest egg was growing. And more importantly, I came to understand that my way out of poverty, which is what I lived in when I was a kid, was to save my money and to become financially secure so that I didn't live as an adult like I had as a child. I would encourage y'all to stop going out to eat and stop spending your money on going out to eat and buying coffee out. You can save, likely for many people, hundreds, my guess is actually a couple of $1,000s a year by eating at home. Go to discount grocery stores, buy your groceries, and start saving your money. I encourage you all to save your money, build financial security, and retire early. I hope this helps you all see that you can eat a good meal that's healthy and still save money. Take what helps you and leave the rest.